Here it comes again. Lunch. Will it be the same old, same old? Or are you ready to take a vacation from the ordinary with the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub at Firehouse Subs? Freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, craveably sweet mustard sauce, and a hint of Caribbean seasoning. Just $5.55 for a medium. Save time. Order the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub on the Firehouse Subs app. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives. Participating locations. Limited time only, plus tax. Prices may vary for delivery.
Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg here in Las Vegas. Good morning, Hank.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. It's we've got a lot of work to do right now with all the everything going on. You got the British Open going on. You got the World Series of Poker just finishing up. We got baseball. We got football. We got college football, pro football, and horse racing. I mean, this is a busy business.
Yep.
What's on your mind today? What would you like to talk about?
Well, we can start with the British Open. It's very windy over there and a little chilly. Wind's blowing around 30, 35 miles an hour, and it's going to be a challenge for the players. In addition to the normal problems with the British Open and the rough and the well-placed sand traps. I've got a few guys I'm looking at. I like Koepka, of course. I think he'll play well. Those conditions don't seem to bother him too much. I think Dustin Johnson, you can get 14-1 on him. Weisberger, I mentioned to you the other day, you can get a big price on him, and like 80-1. And he just won the Scottish Open, and he's a very strong player on the links, and he's won 6 tournaments over there in the last couple of years. He might be a factor, and I think Stinson is another guy to watch. He finished second last year. Always plays well in this tournament, and he's 30-1. So those are the 4 guys that I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, playing on this type of golf course, which is not something that we see in the United States, requires a certain kind of talent, keeping the ball low, allowing it to run up. Staying out of those pot bunkers is very important. They got to strategically play around those. It's a certain talent to play those kind of golf courses, and most of the time American players are not used to that, except, of course, the best ones have done well. It should be great.
Well, Phil and Koepka, would say otherwise. They've played well there. Koepka has won the tournament. But if you look at the 15th hole, which they were talking about, which is a 263-yard hole, guys warming up this morning were using a driver because of the strong headwinds.
Yeah, and then just stay out of the rough, stay out of the pot bunkers, you'll be fine, because it's not a very long course, but you gotta be very accurate with your driver if you're going to use it. I heard Koepka yesterday said he didn't think he'd use his driver more than four or 5 times in the whole round. I'm sure the long hitters feel the same way. What do you think about Tiger Woods? You think he's
Forget it.
Pardon me?
Forget it.
You're betting against.
He hasn't played in 4 weeks. He says he's not right. He played a practice round the other day. He played 1 hole with 3 young guys and then went out on his own the rest of the way. And I guess he doesn't feel real good about his game right now.
And that's what Phil said, too. He's lost quite a bit of weight, and he said he has not been working hard on his game. He said he wasn't ready either.
Well, Phil hasn't been playing well recently.
Right.
He's a little bit concerned about his game right now is not where it should be. And with the loss of weight, who knows what that's how it is. He's lost 15 pounds, and he said that's just the beginning of the program that he's on. to get himself in better shape.
Well, it never hurts to lose a little bit of weight as long as you're not sick doing it, you know. We've got. I've been doing some previews of the NFL, and the college football lines are up. The win totals are up. The books are taking action. You've been doing anything on those fronts?
Well, I've been looking at the NFL, and we talked a little bit about that on Monday. But the training camp's open tomorrow for a couple of the teams. The first preseason game is August 1st. That's the Hall of Fame game. But it's real early for me to be. There's going to be a lot of injuries in preseason, as there always are. There's some interesting things going on. I know Tennessee has had some early injuries and some problems early on. The one interesting team right now is Jacksonville with the new quarterback, and what kind of a difference he's going to make, and how strong they're going to be. They're going to be good defensively again. Houston is going to be strong, and that's going to be an interesting race because I think that you're going to have some real competition between Houston and Indianapolis. That's going to be an interesting race.
I really like the Colts in that spot. I like their coaching. The quarterback obviously is very solid. Their offensive line did a great job last year. I really like the Colts.
Well, we'll see how luck holds up. That's the key. And they've got a decent running game. But Houston's got a good quarterback too. And I think they'll give them a run for it. Although we're not crazy about the coach there, but they've got a strong running game, and it'll be that'll be a good race to watch. Anyway, baseball. Lynn finally got beat last night.
Yeah,
his first loss at home.
Yep,
Arizona beat him.
I lost with him last night. Yep.
And I'll tell you. The Dodgers, your favorite reliever, blew up last night and gave up a walk-off home run in the last inning. The Dodgers had come back and taken the lead in the top of the ninth, and then they get into the bottom half, and they come in with their closer, and he blows one again. And this is something that's going to probably hurt the Dodgers in the postseason. They're so far ahead right now, it doesn't seem to make much difference. But they lost the game to the Phillies last night when Harper hit a 2-run double, not a home run, off Kelsey Jansen in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Dodgers lose 9-8 to the Phillies. Phillies are scrambling to try to make the playoffs. And, the Marlins beat the Padres last night. The Marlins are winning a few ball games. They've got some decent young pitchers, although they scored 12 runs last night against San Diego. They give some teams some trouble. Kansas City had a big game against the White Sox. The Angels are playing, but they're red hot right now. They're playing inspired ball.
Angels are playing good ball. It's unfortunate what happened with their pitcher Skaggs, and that was terrible. But since then, they played inspired baseball, and I hope they continue. They got a nice club there.
If you're looking for another hot team to climb aboard, Washington is on a pretty good streak right now.
That's right. You couldn't do bad in the last couple of weeks with Washington and the Angels. They've been red hot. Baseball is a game of streaks, and the pitchers go on streaks, the hitters go on streaks, the overall teams go on streaks, good and bad, and you really have to stay on top of it. And some days things match up real well, and other days they don't. I was surprised about Lynn last night. And the bullpen was absolutely horrible. Give up 9 runs to that team, and they're just horrible. But that happens. Anything else you want to cover? I know you got to run, but
yeah, not really. I'm not going to talk a lot of football yet. It's let's see what happens with the training camps, and I think they've got to get some players signed. Gordon is a key guy. Houston needs to sign their defensive guy. That's the big news right now. Guys starting to hold out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter that they have 2-3 year contracts. They just hold out anyway. But it's a money game, no question about it. Horses? Anything on horses for the weekend coming up?
Well, it's the Haskell looks like they're going to have 8 horses. Maximum Security is the horse to beat. He needed his last race, and he just was beat in that one. But Mucho Gusto, the Baffert horse, Baffert's won this race 8 times, and he'll be in there. Mucho Gusto's a nice horse. It's getting better and better, so those are the 2 horses to watch in that race, I think. Everfast will be the closer in the race, Dale Roman's horse. And then there's not a lot of depth in that race. I think it's down to those 3. And if you look around, the big race at Saratoga will be coming up in the 3rd week in August. Kind of an interesting story. The Hall of Fame trainer who has been taken off on the West Coast, because all his horses broke down, or a lot of his horses broke down at Santa Anita, and so he's not allowed to run at Del Mar, although his assistant trainer is running his horses there. But they had accepted horses for him at Saratoga, and then the Racing Commission in New York, we're talking about Hollendorfer, has ruled him off in New York. He didn't do anything in New York. I was talking to a prominent East Coast trainer who said that's a terrible decision. Because they ruled him off in California, they're going to respect that decision in New York and not allow Hollendorfer, who has won some stakes races in New York this year, and he's a Hall of Fame trainer, and he's not allowed to run the horses that they've accepted stalls for in New York because he's not allowed to run in California right now because a few of his horses have died on the track out there. It's not right. His horses have all been fine that ran in New York, and that's a lousy decision. And he ought to file a suit.
Well, I'm sure he will. He should.
No, not be so sure yet. Hasn't done anything yet. And the New York horsemen are going to come to his support. It's interesting. Another interesting bad story in racing.
Yeah. A lot of leadership issues that people make bad decisions and we have to live with them, and they got to fight back. I mean, we see it all the time. But anyway, Hank, I appreciate this, and we'll talk again Friday.
Okay.
Have a good day, Hank. Thank you.
All right, Jim. You too. Thanks.
Everybody can go to jimfeist.com for all the information you need for betting and winning, and we'll be back each and every week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with Hank, and other days just with myself. Thank you.
Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Wet n Wild, Las Vegas's original water park, is better than ever. Slide into the locals' choice for fun, sun, and beating the heat. So whether you want to chill watching one of our dive-in movies every Friday and Saturday, try one of our amazing slides, or swim with an actual mermaid, we've got you covered. And don't forget to check out our Twilight admission. General admission tickets are now 35% off after 4 p.m. Wet n Wild Las Vegas. We are summer.
Here it comes again. Lunch. Will it be the same old, same old? Or are you ready to take a vacation from the ordinary with the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub at Firehouse Subs? Freshly sliced smoked turkey breast, craveably sweet mustard sauce, and a hint of Caribbean seasoning. Just $5.55 for a medium. Save time. Order the new Jamaican Jerk Turkey Sub on the Firehouse Subs app. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives. Participating locations. Limited time only, plus tax. Prices may vary for delivery.